slow start to the split for them.
Yeah.
Very high expectations from most people, coming into the split for CLG, and they have not been able to take down a playoff caliber team yet this year. If they were the ones to take the first win off Echo Fox, that'd be a big deal for them. It would start to right the ship, start to have people regain a little bit of confidence in their players.
That means they start losing again, because as soon as you believe in CLG, as Jat said, that's when it all goes downhill. Chronologic Gaming hoping to maybe remain the underdog a little bit longer. Picks and bans coming through. Again, 8.2 is the patch we're on, and basically only EU LCS and NA Academy have played professionally on 8.2 so far. So if these teams either want to take a page from Europe or their Academy squads, they can. Otherwise, it's these teams sort of blindly trying to assume what they think is good this patch without a lot of other
solo queue.
Sorry, that's more what I mean. It's up to their own intuition and learning. They're not copying from weeks and weeks of data or watching the Koreans and whatnot. I'm always intrigued by that to see what they think is best, and CLG thinks Zoe is the pick for Huhi.
Quite a bit of mid lane focus in the bans already. You saw Cassio, the Azir taken away by CLG. Aurelion Sol going to be taken away by Echo Fox, which I believe to be one of the strongest mid laners on this patch, actually, with Glacial Augment. That got buffed. It's even better. It was already the best keystone for Aurelion Sol. Caps, I believe, brought it out just yesterday. So certainly a pick to watch out for, and it's going to be pretty standard, though. Zoe versus Ryze. So
Zoe versus Ryze.
Two of the big four from 8.1, so nothing really changing up just yet.
Absolutely agree. We had some of the fringe bans come through with the Caspia, the Aurelion Sol, even the Azir off the table as well. Nunu, want to point out, of course, not banned, so if one of these teams wants to play it, they can. Gangplank did drop some priority with the Kleptomancy changes, but of course still a pretty high priority champion. Huni's going to get that for himself.
Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see if any of the top laners are kind of adapting and shifting away from Kleptomancy on GP at all. Grasp is actually quite strong. Airy in some easier matchups can be very powerful here as well. And Grasp definitely in the tougher matchups can really help to sustain you through the lane a little bit. Gnar would be one of those tougher matchups. And it's kind of reference what the guys were talking about on the desk. They think one of the most important keys to victory here for Echo Fox was actually getting Huni a very stable matchup. And this is more of an advantageous matchup for Darshan. This is an avenue of attack for CLG, and if they could have some good early game pathing, put Darshan ahead, that's certainly a path to victory.
Something I'm a little bit intrigued by, actually, is no Jarvan in the first round of picks right now. With Sejuani off the table, Jarvan is kind of the plurality jungle pick right now, and neither team thought it was important enough to grab right away, so we'll see if jungle gets pinched down a little bit farther in the second phase or not.
Yeah, I definitely agree, but with Nunu on the table, maybe they're more comfortable trading things like that. There's obviously, not Zac up, as that has been banned away, but there are still some other options, such as the Gragas, even some of the more aggressive options. We have seen, Rengar coming out, Kha'Zix coming out, things like that. Eve has been nerfed quite a bit on this patch. I don't really expect to see it as much anymore, but certainly some options left.
Fun to see a support Shen ban come through here. The Gangplank, is 99% of the time going to be in the top lane there, and we're seeing still, of course, a pretty high prize on tank support. So you'd expect these teams to scrim each other, so you shouldn't have the read if you're Echo Fox of what Biofrost is next up on. He's going to assume some gen. I think we saw that once from before. The Taric as well, he's been good on.
The other thing I really like about the Shen support ban in particular, not just as a generic tank ban, but if your avenue to victory here for CLG is Darshan bullies lane, you camp the GP, you split push, you dominate in a side lane, well, Shen can really start to kind of mess that up. If you're looking for early dives, up on the top side trying to dive a GP and the Shen ult comes in, that can turn things around very, very quickly. So a lot of teams just simply don't like dealing with that global ultimate coming out of the support.
And it's Altec's turn to lock in for the team. They still need a jungler. They need a support for themselves. I wouldn't typically blind a Blitzcrank, especially in a Kalista lane where you just ult the support back out, but waiting for the time to tick down. We'll see what Echo Fox wants to grab for themselves. I would guess a jungle grab unless they think there's a highly prized support. And yep, jungle, Gragas for Dardoch, ex-CLG jungler, Gragas main, who would have thought?
So Gragas is going to be coming through. It's not the J4, it's not the Nunu, it is the Gragas. Definitely more playmaking ability there on the Gragas. If you have the potential to really pull a lot off. I also think that Gragas can work quite well specifically into Zoe, because Zoe is someone that, while she can be fairly evasive with the ultimate, if you do ever get knocked into the team, the ultimate is not really an escape ability, it's more of a dodge, so you can really be in trouble if you're going to get knocked in, and that's something that Gragas can really look to set up early on, especially in combination with Ryze. You throw the W, you have the flash body slam, pretty powerful gank.
Absolutely agree. Nunu hovered, will they give it over? Yes, Nunu makes his entrance in the North American LCS. And that's going to be the jungle of pick for ReignOver, which honestly seems like his kind of champion, right? Likes to invade, likes to counter jungle, likes to get rid of the camps, make his opponent jungler as useless as he can, and I expect ReignOver to do pretty well here.
So do I. I also think it's a pretty good matchup into the Gragas. This is not exactly a champion that can duel up very well against the Nunu, and theoretically, he should be able to get involved early on, taking away jungle camps, really trying to stack dragons, these sorts of things. You need to have a pretty heavy focus, I think, on neutral objectives with CLG's comp. You have the Kalista, you have the Nunu. You really should be stacking dragons early and often. You should be looking to threaten early barons and these sorts of things because, to me, if you're looking at the super later game stages, there's not nearly as much consistent damage coming out of the CLG team as there is from a late game Tristana, a GP, and a Ryze. Like, it's much more get picks with this Kalista Braum combo, find sleeps with Zoe, take objectives, push the pace very quickly. So CLG needs to be very proactive, needs to be playing a good early game, and definitely needs to be winning on the top side.
Well, fun things to watch for, of course. Thresh technically nerfed in 8.2 because he gets half healing from Relic Shield. Of course, still a champion that Adrian wanted to play, so he's going to go for that one here. And then I'm not quite sure which bot lane is going to be winning, but we know we expect Gnar to have the push lead over Gangplank. We talked about several times now how CLG might want to play through top lane. Darshan's been pretty good. We'll see if ReignOver can make that one happen here, but time for the coaches to shake hands, and we'll get in the Summoner's Rift very soon for Game 1.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how the bot lane shakes out. I do think that the Kalista plus Braum 2v2 can be quite powerful, and Thresh, you're not really looking to hook in a Braum, right? That can be difficult, but the X factor there is the gank assistance that Thresh provides, I think, to someone like a Gragas. Gragas' early ganking pressure is much more powerful than that of a Nunu. So really it is up to ReignOver to track Dardoch, to allow his team to know where he's coming from, when he's going to be ganking, and to avoid those. Yeah,
it's going to be fun. I'm very intrigued actually how botlane's going to play alongside jungle because Nunu can very trivially solo a Drake out at level 3 or 4 or something. But if Tristana can keep the push up against the CLG bot lane, it means that Adrian's always available to rotate out and stop those solos. They keep the wards up there. So something to watch for as well if they're going to get those Drake stacks that happen after all. Once again, we are now on Summoner's Rift. Counterlogic Gaming at 1-3. Echo Fox, the only undefeated team in North America, at 4-0. Everyone's asking when that's going to stop, or will it continue? And we'll see right now if Huni can have his second 18-0 season. On to the Rift we go, and Huhi gonna look for a Q. Finds no damage.
So the CLG Classic, though, pre-planned level 1s has been one of their strengths, I think, over the years. Always keeps teams guessing, always does have that threat, and Adrian's standing pretty far back here, but if you do get tagged by a Braum Q, you're going to have to be pretty worried. I don't think they're really going to be able to find much, but I always like that CLG is willing to try these. There's very little risk as long as you have it orchestrated, you have everyone moving to the same spot, you're 5-stacked like they are, but sometimes it pays off with a kill or a summoner.
Yeah, no obvious payoff here. There is going to be the small downside of Huni gets to walk in and think about putting a Trinket Ward down against ReignOver's blue buff. He's not put it down just yet, but he had the free option if he wanted to. Echo Fox decides they don't want that. You mentioned it a second ago, it will still be Kleptomancy on Gangplank. I also agree that Grass will be pretty good on him, but not going to be the case. Of note, Spellbook on Gragas means that he's going to have a really low flash cooldown.
Yeah, Spellbook on Thresh, Spellbook on Gragas, Spellbook on Nunu, Spellbook on Zoe, Spellbook on Ryze. So a lot of summoner Spellbook. It is also worth noting to me, you were talking about having push in the bot lane. Minion Dematerializer here on Adrian just kind of means you're going even more for that push. You have the explosive shot, which is naturally going to help you push. You have the relic shield, and then you also have the minion dematerializer. So if you're taking that and using it on cannons, pushing them in, you can sometimes deny access from Nunu getting to that dragon.
I think it's a really good choice on Thresh as well because oftentimes you can be in a bad situation. You can't actually auto-attack the cannon minion. You want to make sure you get the gold for yourself. And because your Sightstone is tied to actually finishing off the quest, missing out on 2 or 3 cannons actually delays not your own gold, but even wards for your team. And I think it's actually a good idea to go Materializer maybe every time on Relic Shield Thresh.
Yeah, it is pretty interesting. It's also interesting to see Adrian going for Biscuit Delivery instead of Stopwatch, which has been so prevalent in pro play. So he is more concerned with just the additional sustain, the additional mana that he's going to be able to have from that, and less worried about the all-in type situations where I think Stopwatch is much more valuable.
Early on in the game, Darshan not going to chug his first and only potion. Huni's going to push him in early on, but won't stay in that way forever. Of note, Relic Shield start for Huni.
Yeah,
going to give him the Bandit passive for 10 extra gold per Q.
It is pretty interesting, but generally speaking, when you see this, people go Spell Thieves if they want to go for these sorts of routes because they're getting the little bit of damage and they actually proc that much more easily. But that being said, this gives you the extra health, so it is a little bit more safe. He's going Biscuit Delivery. This allows you to start 3 potions, so you have a tremendous amount of sustain for the early laning phase. And so far, he's actually doing incredibly well. He's the one bullying Darshan, and Darshan is an airy Gnar in this advantageous early matchup, but Huni seems to have found a way to play it very, very effectively.
And I'm very curious if Huni will eventually like pull Dardoch over, give him some stacks, upgrade to tier 2, and get his own sight swim, because Gangplank can be a very good split pusher. And at this point, it only costs you 500 gold to basically buy a sight stone. To go from here to target Phreak.
Sightstone does not deal damage, Phreak.
I know it doesn't.
This is Huni.
It's
Huni, Phreak.
Are you aware that Huni's best champion last year was Maokai? All right, he knows how to play team player. The memes aren't always true about him. He's a good player. We'll see what happens here. I'm very excited because I think there can be a lot of innovation and exploration as the 8.2 changes what kind of items we see out of players. For now, though, we have had a fairly low impact early game. Small farm lead to Stixxay in the bottom lane, which is nice because CLG's bot lane has been a bit weaker of late this split.
Yeah, and my guess, honestly, is that he's just never going to go past the Relic Shield, because I think it's going to take a long time to actually get to the 500 gold for the Sightstone upgrade if you're not consistently executing minions. Very likely just wants a very heavy sustained lane, and here is ReignOver going for the early dragon. It is the Infernal, and both junglers looking to do what they do best. Dardoch's looking for a gank.
Body slam flash from Fog before he couldn't have done anything, and First Blood comes through to Fenix. Absolute perfection out of Dardoch, stunned from the darkness.
Really nicely done there. Honestly, a bit surprised that Huhi is running heal instead of cleanse. When you're going up against the Ryze, the root is a free setup for those sorts of plays, and there's nothing you can do, as you said, if you actually get caught out there. Cleanse, not sure if it would have saved him or not, but either way, both junglers doing what they do best. Dardoch picking up a first blood here for Fenix, and let's see this one more time. Was it actually set up by the root? It was not. It's basically the exact same time. Honestly, nothing he could have done there. I think even with cleanse, it wouldn't have mattered.
I think it's literally impossible even to react to that, how fast that body slam was. Nothing you could have done there. So, unlucky for Huhi, but hey, good lane pressure there by Fenix. Props to them for making that one happen. And so, 1,100 gold lead for EchoFox to combat the Infernal Drake that ReignOver picked up.
Definitely the edge there is certainly much more heavily to EchoFox's side, especially in the early stages. That gold is going to be worth a lot more. The fact that Fenix got a really nice early base, he gets early lucidity to already work in combination with the Summoner Spellbook as well as his tier. So his teleport cooldown, his Summoner cooldown in general is going to be extremely low, and it does make it so hard to ever push Ryze out of base, and gives him more ability to actually move around the map and answer some of these plays.
To watch for. ReignOver gets the counter jungle, gets rid of a giant Krug and just walks away. So that's going to be 70 gold to him, and the camp's going to despawn before too long. We'll see if Dardoch shows up before those all do go away. Otherwise, gold off the table.
Yeah, but so far so good for ReignOver. You know, it's working out okay. Let's see if we can land that. Some nice damage, but still, TP's almost back up, right? So it's very kind of uneventful lane here, I think, on the side of Zoe. It's going to be really, really hard for Huhi to ever do too much to Fenix other than just farm this out. Phoenix is going to have better wave push, and he has a better ganking jungler. Nunu plus Zoe is going to be hard-pressed to actually take down a stopwatch Ryze.
Absolutely agree. Might not see any dives work well, and Fenix is going to be able to safely farm for a very long time. As we saw, the Infernal Drake went over, just kind of keeping up in the bot lane. Looks like just the lane pressure of Braum himself has meant that Adrian had to play back, and it's been the CLG push the whole time. 2-on-2 in the mid lane as Phoenix walks right in to a Nunu channeling, but the stopwatch prevents it all. Absolutely zero damage dealt. Yeah, means nothing. Another kill into Dardoch. A dynamic duo in the mid lane working nicely.
Yeah, very well done there. They thought they were kind of baiting Phoenix in, but Dardoch was in the back. Huni had his ultimate. He's adding that in from the top side, and look at the early game item focus here from Huni. Not only does he start with Biscuit Delivery for more sustain, the Relic 3-pot start, now he's into Corrupting and a Doran's Blade. So he's so heavily focused on not getting bullied early, and I think this is the right choice for a GP. If you're going even in the early stages against the Gnar, you're feeling so good. And here it is one more time. Sleep getting blocked by that minion, and Huhi just getting run down. Nicely timed stopwatch here by Phoenix, denying the ultimate, and CLG has to go into full retreat. There's nothing that ReignOver can do from here. Even the EchoFox bot lane was coming first.
Yeah, so beautiful stuff out of this whole squad right now, and EchoFox looking to maybe make it 5 games in a row here. Even Jet's prediction change couldn't change much, so CLG having to fight back from a now pretty meaningful 1,500 gold deficit at only 8 minutes into the game. Huni's still farming up pretty nicely for himself, walking back.
And I think it's even more meaningful because of the compositions, right? This is a Tristana going up against a Kalista. This is a GP going up against a Gnar. And even the Ryze versus Zoe, I favor in teamfights in the later stages of the game. There's much more high variance with a Zoe. Yes, you could theoretically one-shot one of these carries and then the math is all thrown off. But generally speaking, I like Xbox's comp more the later we get into this game. And despite the fact that it's a 20 CS advantage for Stixxay and Biofrost, that has not been where the focus of the game is. And this kind of top side of the map, which was more expected to be winning for Darshan, and the mid, which was more expected to be a farm, are not really going the way that CLG wanted.
I do think that the time for CLG is coming up very soon, though. Kalista's up to level 6, Braum's there pretty shortly, and Adrian doesn't have a combat summoner spell. It's only Spellbook, which means literally nothing in a fight. So maybe something comes through, but ReignOver going to look for top side.
Was spotted.
Dardoch right behind him. Those could be a very interesting 2-on-2. Remember, there's no stopwatch for Huni. He can't really get out. Flash, but he's low on health. Oh, what a nice play. Pulls back Darshan. He's going to be Mega Gnar, though. He's going to transform. And that means there's not a lot of threat on him anymore. Ryze coming in for this one. Fenix wants to get someone killed, but not going to reach ReignOver in time. And Darshan, pretty safe here.
Actually, really good for CLG. It costs them 1 summoner. They get 3 flashes and a teleport out of that. That is very good pressure from CLG. Despite the fact that they didn't get the kill, this is now a 2v1 on the bot side. They can actually pressure and get the first turret here, give solo gold over to Stixxay, and use that as your real power point here, because mid-game for Kalista obviously is going to be incredibly strong.
I'm almost a little surprised they're not just trying to hard dive Altec with Kalista ulti, just have Biofrost start the fight out, because what's he going to do aside from rocket jump away? Maybe it's a waste of ultimates, but again, it would give you some free time. And Thresh back in the lane, but as you saw from earlier, Adrian's not able to hold the 2-on-2 that easily, so yeah, see if CLG can get first turret and tie the gold back up. They're only down 1,000. Otherwise, this game's going all right for them, and ReignOver making his way towards the bottom side.
It is going to be a Cloud Dragon coming up next, so not really what CLG was hoping for, but definitely want to see Nunu continue that Dragon control, continue to stack that up, and accrue any early advantages he can from neutral objectives. But really, ReignOver could just walk into the bot lane and kind of help them to push this in, because I think at that point with the turret this low, if you just simply walk into lane, blood boil your AD carry, and threaten any sort of pressure, you can probably knock that down and get first turret, which would be very advantageous.
They're not in a huge rush yet. None of the other turrets are under direct fire. Mid lane, top lane, in reasonable spots for the CLG squad. So we'll see when they actually choose to pull the trigger. Cloud Drake up in 15. Big damage out of Darshan at the top side. And Huni is flashless. One more clock will kill him, and he doesn't. Darshan solo kill in the top lane.
That's the conversion on the burn flash from earlier. Darshan doesn't even have to use his own. He gets the solo kill, and now some of the pressure, some of the effort that ReignOver has been putting out on this map, threatening the dive on the top side, really pays off. And with the bottom side winning, with this ward pinked, and Nunu is here. They are not going to try to push for the turret, though, as Huhi's back in the map. But either way, here it is again from Darshan. Really nicely played, landing the entire combo, and Huni just not really expecting the all-in potential there from the Mega Gnar. Gets perfectly comboed, and Darshan's pumped up.
He is pumped up about this one. That is nice. Solo killing Huni is something very few top laners ever get to do, and CLG, I mean, here 1-3, starting to pull up against the undefeated team in NA. That's when you know maybe you're starting to turn your season around. So fully believe this one jumps in for an exhaust bit of damage into Fenix, and back out he goes with the spellbook.
And to Darshan's credit, I actually think he's been having a great season. To me, him and Huhi have been playing very well, and yes, Huhi is quite behind this game, but in general, I think CLG solo laners have been a real strength for them this season. Despite their 1-3 record, it's just been kind of problems in the rest of the map. The bot lane has not been showing up the way they want, and there is kind of a failed RQR.
Are a little bit late. You have to cast the full quarter second before it would hit max range. He'll probably hit the rest of these for most rest of this game. Blade of the Ruin King done, by the way, for Stixxay, so first power spike done for him. The free boots have come through for all these players, and we're waiting to see when CLG does pull the trigger to knock down bot turret, because it should be theirs to Ryze.
And ReignOver is setting up for another dragon. Look at all this vision that's down around here with the Tracker's Knife. He clears out a couple pink wards. He can look to threaten this dragon take. I do like the fact that he is down here applying this pressure. We'll see if he's actually willing to start it up, though, as there is a lot of Echo Fox members in the area.
They know they're leashing it. They can see Ryze start casting spells over the wall, so how much damage can Huhi get? Lands the sleep. This can be some good damage. Smite goes over to Dardoch, actually. The hook's going to come back now at a Nunu. The front line is here. Braum attacks on a 3, and here comes a fight as Altec's nearby, knocks them backwards, gets them out of range. Another Drowsy, and then a Gragas. They're going to body block this, though. Go forward. Yep. Half HP on Adrian, but they're going to be okay. Out they go.
ReignOver completely panicked there. He actually consumed it to 1 HP, then Panic tried to smite. He flashes in place.
Oh, wow, I missed that.
Definitely a botched attempt there from ReignOver. That was giving me a little bit of kind of throwback to some of their previous games where he does have a fantastic early game, then is not able to hang on. Thankfully, the flash is not going to mean too much, at least for now. We'll see if that does come back to haunt him before it's back up.
He's going to get a little bit of damage right there, and yeah, gets Phoenix on to half HP, but lands a combo himself and trades most of it back. Still a small lead for Huhi after landing those kill shots. And
there it is again. He wants to at least force Dardoch to actually go for it. He's still 1 HP and then flashes in place there. I think that's just simply a panic. He's matching his smite. He sees it at 1 HP, but he already used smite consume, and I'm not really sure.
He flashed at the same time he put a ward down. Like he felt like maybe his ward
either way,
like near his flash. Obviously
an
play regardless. Yeah.
But not too impactful just yet. Adrian is here though, and so is Dardoch. They're looking for Huhi again.
Quarter HP on Phoenix. Flave pulls in Biofrost, putting the shield kind of the wrong way, flashing away from the hook. He's going to stay alive, but that is a summoner spell down now from the CLG support. Otherwise, licking the runes pretty nicely. We did see first turret go down a second ago, so Logic Gaming up 500 gold and a Drake rather.
Yeah, play certainly not working around the mid lane for CLG, but
no.
Biofrost, nice flash there to actually get out. You definitely need to early flash that hook or he would have died. And certainly so, you know, the fact that Blade of the Rune King is already done here for Stixxay. They have a lot of power on the bot side. They have full vision control. CLG's vision on the bottom side of the map is actually fantastic. If you can look over at that in this mini-map, it's going to be a second dragon going their way. They do have a gold lead now, so things are certainly starting to look a little bit better, but they do need to continue to push the pace. They do need to continue to keep this pressure up because the mid game and the late game is really where they have struggled. They have had some pretty solid early games throughout the season, so we'll see where they go from here.
We'll see what comes up from this one. Once again, we look at ourselves in the top lane. 15 CS difference. Darshan in the lead gets a nice ulti across, but back to Gnar means he might have to run away from this trade as Huni going to land a lot of his attacks right now. Gets the passive coming in as well. Dardoch nearby. Flash is up for Darshan, but his health bar getting a bit low. Flash is early. Dardoch going to flash hold. He's going to land the first little bit slow as well, and there's the shot in. Huni gets himself a kill. Revenge with the help from Dardoch.
Nicely done there from Dardoch. Dardoch baiting out the flash actually early from Darshan, you know, threatening the body slam flash. Darshan has to flash and he can still get that follow with his own flash, ultimating him against the wall. Huni fully commits. That is just very nicely done there from Echo Fox, and that's the danger of actually using that leap forward for trading, you know, to look for another kill here. This is how Darshan was able to get a kill on Huni last time, but when you jump forward like that, you're certainly putting yourself at a lot of risk, and he knows that Dardoch is there now. He had crossed the ward, but Darshan's Mega Gnar had timed out very early. He didn't have the wall up, the stun, or anything to follow up. And Dardoch, honestly, very nice ultimate. Huni able to follow in and clean it up.
So nicely done by them. Actually want to point out that Darshan was able to catch his boomerang on the way back. He never got the cooldown to land another slow, and couldn't keep Dardoch at bay. Another play for Rift Hero to slow on a Huni. Over the wall goes Darshan. Absolute Zero does about that much damage. We're going to run back over. We're going to
going
Phoenix. Nice pick up there. Gragas gets that one, so Herald grabs. And you're a little bit of damage out of Huhi going in, and half HP on Dardoch. The body slam should be up. Out they go, and now Rift Hero picked up without anything really important burned.
Yeah, not too big of a deal there, but nicely done by Echo Fox. Anytime you're taking neutral objectives away from a new team, it's going to feel really good. That's certainly one way that ReignOver could have pushed the pace of the game even further to knock down some more turrets and kind of expose the Baron. But so far, I do think that Echo Fox has slowed it down quite a bit, and the fact that Huni's already on Triforce now is going to mean he can clear these waves out so easily and really even start to threat in 1v1 against Darshan.
And talking about Huni's farm, he's at about 700 gold earned so far from the Relic Shield, so if he wants a Sight Stone, he could just get it by upgrading Targon's Brace. If he chooses not to, then clearly not worth it for him, but would be gold efficient for the wards. Either way, it's paid for itself as an item, and he's just continuing to scale up in this game. Echo Fox just tied in gold. Double Drake still for CLG. Otherwise, we've now gone back to a bit of a safer mid-game as these objectives are all gone off the map. And 5 of the 6 outer turrets still stand.
It's honestly really cool to see how Huni has played this. It's not a start I've ever really seen.
Yeah.
And the Relic Shield with the free hot start in combination with Biscuit Delivery is just so much sustain that Darshan was really having trouble dealing with that. We know with only 1 potion of sustain for himself.
Sure.
He could not really kind of match that. And, Huni has played the lane, I think, incredibly well.
So far, so good. Phoenix continue to wave clear, and there's a summon up in the mid lane, so it looks like first turret might, or the first Echo Fox turret, I should say, will go down in mid lane outer here. Huhi can only kind of sit and watch on the outside. Can't really grab that Ignite little pellet either. The flash forward actually wanted to land the slow, but no. Not going to get much of anything. A Lantern pulling them to safety. Now Dardoch might have a hard time with this one, and going to get pushed out, but one more smack from the Rift Herald gives local gold over the Gragas. as a result of the last hit. And now the chase maybe for Darshan, but no mallet. Not a great enough slow, and gonna be able to walk away.
Yeah, that's 5-man mid there for CLG with top lane pushing against them, but they're not really able to actually get any fight going. So there's just gonna be some minions lost on the top side for Darshan. Not too much of a cost, of course, but really not finding much success in actually forcing these fights.
Nice little attempted snipe there, but dodged away. Huhi gets no damage out just yet. Back to the top side. Nice last hit. Darshan gets rid of that one. No barrel for you. Jumps forward, lands the ulti. Right as he goes back into Minion R. Last
Dardoch's
another barrel. But if Dardoch comes in, it's going to be a danger as another barrel chain blows. This time slowing down Darshan. Huni cutting away. He's taking some meaningful damage. Boomerang grab. He can trigger Hyper. Not quite good dodge by Huni, but now in melee range of Dardoch, he is going to go down as Biofrost joins in. Does not land the ult on both. Does Dardoch have the damage? A double hop comes through. Now it's up to Adrian's turn. Altec here as well. Summoner heal to keep them safe, and Darshan has been saved. Made a movie about that one a while ago. Now right back to the engage. Not going to find a silence.
ReignOver here.
Pops the hourglass, gets rooted up. Bit of damage coming across, but still nothing just yet as Stixxay is around. Both is already burned though. Is cutting back and forth. A couple of teleports. That was interesting. And CLG going to get away with no deaths.
Yeah, 10-man in the top lane. No kills just yet. Darshan has gone back to base. They're looking.
A lot of CC on a Huhi on a half HP, but nothing yet grabbed, and no further poke on a Dardoch either. Drowsy, he's got oranges. Doesn't eat him in time. Almost goes down. That is painful.
That is a lot of damage there, but Darshan is going to have to start, A, being more careful, or B, they need to get some deep ward so we can actually see when Dardoch is coming in advance, because he continues to jump forward, trying to play this aggressively on Huni, and were it a 1v1, it would be a great choice, but it's twice in a row that it has gotten very, very dicey with Dardoch being in the back, and you use your escape to go aggressive. There's no real way out of a lot of those fights.
I'm going to knock down this red buff over to Dardoch, but absolutely you're right. The re-engages have been very threatening, especially when you've got several spellbooks. It's not that hard to get several teleports into the team. We've seen Adrian do that before, and Phoenix has it currently. Things to be afraid of.
There's actually been so much fighting for the amount of kills. I look up and I see it's 1-3, and it doesn't feel like that at all this game. Yeah, it has been a lot of fights, but not really fully committed fights, and very often it doesn't seem like either team can really get a grip on the other team and can't finish them off.
Yeah. Looking at gold right now, I want to point out the highest on the team for CLG is Stixxay. Again, we've given some comments that he's not been having a very good split compared to his peak, maybe beginning of 2016 where he was really, really good, especially that MSI performance, but maybe it's been a bit of a week for CLG. This game, though, he's the gold leader. He got first turret gold and all that. It's going to be more on him to be the carry. I mean, it's Nunu Kalista. Like, this has obscene team fight top end if you're able to actually free fire onto the front line. See if he can do it. He's splitting on this turret right now with some help from his friends, who he's not going to land that one just yet, but soon to be CLG's second turret.
And Stixxay has certainly had his moments this split. It's not like it's all been bad by any means, but he has really struggled to me in the late game in a lot of team fights. And again, he is in a position where he can carry here, right? He's going to be a blood-boiled Nunu with Braum protecting him with, 3-man big front line. He should be in a spot where he can get some damage done, right? He's at a very strong point, and it's going to be up to him, to his positioning, to his reactions and his mechanics, to see if he can actually avoid the CC, avoid the damage coming from EchoFox, and really put out as much as he needs to for himself.
Let's see what they can find then, as the top lane turret not yet falling, in the whole squad kind of regrouping towards this side of the map, as of course Baron has spawned about a minute and a half ago. CLG with better ward control right now over the area, but EchoFox not far behind. They got that one control ward near mid, and they're getting a little bit of deep vision into that CLG jungle as well. See when that starts being contested. Obviously Kalista, one of the very best, if not the, well, Nunu and Kalista, probably the two best.
Add an Azir and that Baron dies in 1 second.
Oh, it would be incredible. But no Azir, it was banned away in this game, but certainly an insane Baron team for CLG, and that is something that I think CLG historically has done a very good job of, is finding those sneaky Barons over the course of time. Something to watch out for. I mean, EchoFox will have to respect. They're definitely in a tied game here in the mid.
And one of the scariest things about going up against this for EchoFox is, even if you see them starting it, it's not a 50-50 to steal, right? Yeah. This is so heavily weighted towards CLG's side with Consume plus the Kalista Rend. It's almost like an 80-20 and 90-10 at best. And if it's perfectly executed, it should be no chance at all for Dardoch to actually get it. So that's the real terror, is that even if you spot them doing it, if you're too late, it's already gone by the time you get there, and there's no chance to steal. So you just have to kind of give it up or try to take a team fight and win after.
Absolutely. CLG still playing defensively around Stixxay, though. They're not really committing him to these turrets too quickly, despite top turret being at about 10%. respects the fact that Phoenix is there on Ryze, backs off for now. That Ryze still scaling up though. 2 major items done. He's got the Zonia, so free escapes available now for this champion. As still just kind of farming across the board back and forth. 40 CS lead for Stixxay, but as far as individual gold is concerned, 1,600 up for Huni, courtesy of his builds and how his Q functions, so a pretty gigantic lead for the Gangplank on that side.
Yeah, already done 2 items well ahead of when Darshan is going to be, and he is going to be a monster in the late game. And this is why I do kind of worry for CLG. I'm not trying to give the impression that they've already been outscaled, that they have no chance of this game. They certainly have a lot of time. They can still get something done. But you do not want to play passively. You do not want to just allow these teams to sit and free farm, because you are just giving ground. It's going to get worse and worse for you over time. You need to play an aggressive game. You need to pick up the pace and choose your moments. We'll see when they are going to do for that, because if they sit around for the next 5-10 minutes without a fight, I feel like it's massively weighted towards Echo Fox at that point.
Sure, and you talk about giving up ground. I mean, take a look, if we can talk a division on Echo Fox's control of that western jungle right now. Several deep wards actually inside of CLG's blue buff area. This set up for Baron, looking now for Adrian. The flash only knocked right back and kicked out by Altec, but the re-engage. Drowsy, this could be the kill. Do they land the skill shots? He's going to wake up, and Stixxay finds himself a kill. 2-3 on the scoreboard now. 4v5. Does Huni choose to join? Yes. Baron not going to land, though, so now support missing, 5v4 for CLG.
Well, the question is, do they start up the Baron? Do they actually feel like they A, have to, or B, can? Huni getting chucked a bit there, but Darshan is going to go back to base. He has his TP available, and it's Echo Fox shoving mid, trying to get priority.
Pretty good job by CLG finding his opening picks. Those bubbles, sleepy trouble's been happening, and yes, there's the call. Looking at Baron right here. They've got Ren, they've got Smite, they've got Consume. This is, as you mentioned, 80-20, maybe 90-10 in CLG's favor. So Smite fight not really in Echo Fox's interest. Can they find the team fight is a question. Adrian does not have teleport up. He switched it back out.
And there is no GP ultimate, but they have to be very careful of the barrels they're pulling off now. And I mean, Adrian is back up. They expended the teleport. You see Huhi walking back to mid lane. It feels like CLG has kind of pulled off this one. And that means it's a wasted teleport. That means nothing really gained from the pick. And Echo Fox navigates very well being a man down.
For a play maybe on a Phoenix, a very fast-moving double cloud trick. Nunu actually, he's real quick, but well, they will get the turret out of it at the very least. But you're right, CLG unwilling to go for too much more after the opening pick. Next Drake in 1.5. Turret score 2-1 means a only 500 gold lead. And some of that's having to do with the fact that Gangplank literally prints money, but see how it goes.
And here's the play again. The Drowsy is landed. They're going in for the follow-up. And Darshan doesn't have any rage, though. He's actually cooled down from his Mega Gnar, so it's harder to actually commit to a full-on team fight. But Stixxay coming in, they get the kill. GP TP's in. Darshan's very low, so they want to try to back off and reset it. Didn't actually have confidence to fully commit to the Baron after he did TP back. But once again, they're over there.
And they rotate fast. Double Cloud Drake plus Blood Boil actually is a lot of good map ability tools in the general sense. Maybe CLG can find themselves an opening in that way. It's part of that Nunu strength is stacking those Drakes from earlier.
Certainly so, and the amount of attack speed that Stixxay is going to have with lethal tempo plus Blood Boil is going to be pretty obscene. If he actually does get into a team fight here and is able to get the lethal tempo going, is able to consistently auto, he's going to be stacking spears so absurdly fast that you certainly can surprise people with the amount of execute damage coming out of the Ren.
Totally agree. So things to watch for in this one is they can keep doing well. Probably going for a Bloodthirster next item. It's almost ubiquitous here. He went Legend Bloodline as well, so a lot of sustain available. The attack speed, of course, provided via Blood Boil into the Blade of the Rune King and Precision Path bonus. Lethal Tempo helping. And we're going to go ahead and knock down some more wards, CLG. So they are starting to wrest control back over. They've gotten rid of most of those Echo Fox wards around this river.
But it's Phoenix on the bot side, and I think CLG, they're going to go for Huni here.
Not a lot of ways out. He's got Flash, burns it, but he's going to get hit by the Absolute Zero. The damage up pretty high. The rest of the chain's going to be there. He's just buying seconds as the bot lane tier 2 falls. The Till comes over. The turret for a kill generally going to favor Echo Fox, though.
CLG has to start Baron, though. Now they have one man down. TP is not going to be available for Huni. Phoenix is on the bot side. At least force out the TP here from Phoenix. Make him respond, but Darshan is looking to go Mega.
He got knocked in by Gragas and kicked right back out by Altec, so no engage to be had for him. Again,
spears are stacking.
Yes, they are. They're going to turn back to the fight. Dardoch comes in. They hook in, gets saved right back out as Braum looks at the re-engage, knocking him on the knockup, though. Dardoch in the middle of 5, though. There's the stun. Is the damage going to stick on through? Body slams away. Mega Gnar into the wall. Gets himself 1 kill, and Adrian at a 1/3 as well. The second kill going to come through, no problem. Altec and Phoenix could not possibly win this fight anymore. And Altec not going to join him in the... Oh, he didn't actually...
he mistimed it.
The timing was wrong, and he fell asleep for something, so no escape tools there.
Oh.
Gets the skill shot, get the kill anyway, just Zoe things, and Fenix certainly going to die. He is drowsy, he is going to fall. The Zonias to keep him safe. Misplays it actually, and one kill comes through. Ryze doing nicely, the shutdown comes in. What a chaotic fight.
Oh my god, what a close fight. Stixxay has no HP, Biofrost no HP. Huni is almost back. It will not be the bear, but it is a lot of kills. The delayed ace for CLG, and definitely action-packed fights, some misplays on both sides. I mean, Fenix misplaying the stopwatch plus ultimate combo. That's the first time I've seen that, I think, in pro play.
There was one last week I remember seeing.
Okay.
But yeah, it's rare regardless.
Definitely rare, and
rare.
That did kind of cost him his life, maybe even Altec his life. But either way, CLG not able to go for the Baron, and the goal is still extremely close. So they need to continue to pressure this. They need to, once again, draw them back to this Baron and either start it up or threaten to do so, and I think they're going to go right on it.
All right, knocking down the wards, and here comes the next attempt. Double control just to make sure they can see all of it. And good luck getting rid of this Baron. Dardoch is flashless, and he's not... Okay, now he's in range for the attempt.
Ryze is so far away, though. Do they commit?
Barrel chain lands on the backline. Huhi and Biofrost and a half. ReignOver getting really low, actually down to 1K. 2,800 head. There's the smite, and they grab the Baron. No problem there. Gnar in there. No ulti available for a few more seconds. He's going to get knocked around a little bit. Absolute Zero to D-zone the team. And back in goes the team. Hook's going to miss, though, wide. And Stixxay by himself. But he's got lifesteal. Flashing over the wall, staying safe for now. Altec's still in the hunt, though. Can they win this duel? He's got the team around him. Stixxay might not have a way out of this fight.
Yeah, Stixxay maybe should have stayed in and got a kill onto Adrian, but he is pretty far up there.
Yeah, didn't land the Q on Adrian. If he had landed that, he might have had the kill, but nope, one comes over. So, hey, -1 kill, but Baron to CLG is a good thing for them.
Yeah, very well done. Risky play here. CLG getting incredibly low during this fight, certainly. Darshan looking for the flank on Gnar, tries to go in here. Adrian, really nice play. The Ryze W as well, locking him up, denying any big entrance, and does find one. So this is actually
one from a long
previous
time ago.
play, yeah.
It's a 5 for 2.
And this is the Ryze ultimate here, kind of getting mistimed a little bit. Yeah, very early.
No, the attack was in the air and triggered the 4th stock of Braum pass despite the Zonia's interaction. That surprised me because I feel like autos shouldn't.
Interesting.
But that's what happened. It consumed the Braum 4th hit.
Well, either way, this was the CLG delayed ace prior to the Baron fight that we did just see. So some time ago, and the frustration on his face as stopwatches are getting used.
I have not seen them before, but yeah, I don't know if it's an intended interaction or not, but certainly those 4th hit, and it stacked the Braum passes regardless. So interesting things there, but that's why he fell. Either way, it is Counterlogic Gaming 400 gold in the lead, Baron buff on 4 members, and now looking to keep playing the map.
Certainly so. Gold just about that even. Another item now completed, though, for Stixxay. He does have that Bloodthirster, but we do have Altec on 3 items himself, starting to get to a very, very strong point. Huni has completed his 3 items. To me, a lot of this game is just going to come down to how much can CLG actually get with this Baron. I feel like they need to get a significant gold lead, need to knock down some turrets, threat an inhibitor, at least get some outers here to really start to extend an advantage, because we are kind of getting to the danger zone post 30 minutes against Trist and GP.
Things to watch out for then. Give Counterlogic Gaming, keep the pressure going. They've done a pretty decent job of shot calling overall. The Ocean Drake from a little while ago did go to Echo Fox, so it's 3-1 in Drakes. Counterlogic Gaming is still going to take over what they can of this jungle now, actually farming more and more gold out of it. Quick consume smite goes over to ReignOver there, and CLG still only on 2 outer turrets. That score tied by Echo Fox. Certainly Fox have come back from larger deficits, most notably half their games to both Cloud9 and TSM were those.
I mean, they were down like 10K against TSM, right? This is certainly the gold is not the problem in this one. It's the tempo is kind of in the favor of CLG. They have the Infernal, they have the Baron buff, and are putting on a lot of pressure. But Echo Fox knows that they can slow this down, if they can continue to kind of turtle and farm, they're going to have a lot of really good opportunities.
Definitely will. So things to watch out for. Echo Fox can find their way back into this one. Nice little plays there, and it's a split push, 1-1-2 with the Nunu coming kind of across all the lanes for Counterlogic Gaming. The Dardoch Phoenix duo, though, holding up just fine. No major issues, but here we go onto this one. Good damage on mid lane tier 2 as Huhi continues to hit once in a while. The minions helping also.
Getting a little bit of damage there. I do like that they are Baron buffing up all 3 lanes. They're trying to really pressure for these outers, and this should be this bottom tier 2 getting a lot of damage. The mid lane is fairly low. On the next waves, they could maybe knock down 1 or 2 of these, and Hui's trying to do his best to actually push Altec off, but that was really close to being a hook, and without cleanse there, he could have actually just died.
That's the case. Tristana has meaningful damage here, and Huhi did not have really good disengage tools, but stays alive. Stixxay going to get rid of this bot lane wave once again, but the rest of the squad's coming around. Early redemption pop just to make sure they can stay alive. I think that was courtesy of the Zoe. Damage on a Phoenix. Of course, he's got his own Zhonya. He's down to 2 stacks. Biofrost on a half HP as well. No sleep can be had just yet for Huhi. Gragas walked into it. That's a bit of a misplay. Huhi gonna not find the damage, though.
Yeah, GEP ultimate forced out there, just trying to disengage them. Dissuade them from actually diving forward onto Phoenix. With that being down, Phoenix did go back to base, but he is home guarding back out. Honestly, EpicSkillshot has done a pretty good job of actually stalling this out. They didn't lose any inners. They lost the mid-outer. That's it.
Yeah, well done defense by Echo Fox, and that's definitely a mark of a good team is how well can you handle those Baron power plays. And pretty solid from them. Yeah, as you mentioned, the gold pretty close. This is within reason.
I'm just not sure that it was enough for CLG, right?
Sure.
Do they really have a big enough advantage? Yes, they are still going to have chances. Yes, they have 3 dragons and Elder is coming up, but it has to be Elder, it has to be Baron, it has to be these sorts of things. And every time you are not able to close out the game with something like a Baron or an Elder for CLG, that's giving Echo Fox another 6-8 minutes or more, depending on when you're going to start it, etc., of farming. And that is very, very problematic for them because these guys are just getting so incredibly strong. Phoenix now has a fully completed death cap. Huni buys a Dustblade. He's on 4 Ms. These are very strong late game champions getting to incredibly powerful power points. And I just think that there comes a time where you just straight up lose.
And maybe the case here. So CLG under a bit of a clock then, and see if they can keep the pressure on because they're only up the 1 turret. But they do have a nice moment coming up the next 2 minutes with the Baron in 130, the Elder Dragon in 150. If they can keep the tempo up and keep the control of the map, maybe it gets a bit better for them.
And if they can find a really good flank from Darshan and things like this, or a great sleep from Huhi, those are kind of the X factors for the team. Ways that they can really put the game on its head and make the scaling not matter, right? If you can eliminate someone right off the beginning of the fight, that's certainly a way in. But Echo Fox has been playing a very controlled, very smart, slow-paced kind of game here, knowing where their strengths lie in the late game. And you can even see all the vision that's being built up from Echo Fox around the Baron preemptively.
And well, so far, CLG feeling pretty good. Honestly, they've still been able to play the split push game. Mid lane's going to fall, bot lane kind of similar. It will be traded by Phoenix getting 1 for himself, but I think most people can know 2 is greater than 1, so looks like a better trade for Counter Logic Gaming. Over the wall they go, getting rid of the blast plant. Baron in 30 seconds.
Maybe caught out.
Ooh, Zoe gone already though. Phoenix caught out Huhi on this one, but he's very much alone. Not a lot of escapes left for him, and the damage going to come through. So both teams missing a mid laner now. Who wins the 4-on-4?
Darshan isn't here though.
They want this one without Darshan. 4.3 is a good call. They're going to find the 3rd kill this fight as Biofrost does not have an escape available. Dardoch gets himself the killing blow. 3 for 1 as Darshan simply goes for a turret.
I'm not sure this is worth it. I mean, Darshan makes a call to not join. Huni TP's in, and he may get this. I guess he's probably going to get the inhibitor turret, but
there we go.
The Baron is spawning. It's going to be an Echo Fox Baron. Huni is back here, so he should be able to actually get this inhibitor. We'll see if ReignOver can play the hero, but without Flash available.
It's almost impossible. You'd have to heavily misplay to let him in, so he's going to get the mid lane farm. Plus 2 kills, plus a Baron, minus 2 turrets. I would take Echo Fox for that.
By far. And they're going to be able to have the Baron buff working for their favor to help them get positioning around the Elder Dragon, which is now live here as well. Definitely a rough set of plays there for CLG. Echo Fox looking to start up this Elder Dragon. We'll see if they commit to it, and we'll see if we get a replay on how exactly Huhi died, because everyone from CLG was coming in and collapsing on Phoenix, but Huhi, who has not been using Cleanse this whole game, does actually just get straight up 1v1, rooted up. Yeah, wow. It's 1 EQW plus the GP ultimate. He's dead.
What's weird is Phoenix actually had his ultimate available. I think he just mistimed it and hit Zhonya's too early because or he was hoping to wait for his team to show up in time. Either way, the re-engage comes through. Obviously, Echo Fox, with more members, able to clean up pretty nicely.
Yeah, not even really close in the follow-up fight.
Yeah.
Well done. Just honestly a good kill onto Huhi, and TP comes in from Huni, so it's their fight to win. Darshan is around here though, does have flash, is almost in Mega. But Echo Fox probably going to wait this out.
Isolated Phoenix this time around. He is going to be in the right spot to get over the wall. No problem. That's ulti down zone as well. Huhi at half HP though. Taking pretty good damage to the Gangplank ultimate.
Yeah, they're getting pushed out. They're actually being completely boxed off this Elder Dragon. And Darshan is now in mini, so I don't really think that CLG can take the fight very well.
No huge MR items yet. He's probably got about 120 magic resist right now is Dardoch, but a full AP build out of Huhi feels pretty good. Good Lantern brings one more to safety. But both more still solid enough for Logic Gaming due to Huhi's attempts.
And both teams have big waves in the side working for them. Echo Fox, their bot lane wave is looking very good. CLG has a big wave stacked up on the top side, but Echo Fox also pushed in mid lane. Stixxay is going to have to go to respond to that. Huhi had to go back to base because he was poked out. He's actually keeping very far away from this.
This seems like an unfightable Drake battle. Then maybe ReignOver can go for a Consume Smite. That might be the only trade. Otherwise, there's not a lot of ways to fight for this one. There's Zoe coming back in.
Darshan is almost Mega.
And he's close to Mega, absolutely the right thing. And oh, the kill on a Dardoch. The jungler is gone to the front line. They pulled back. Oh, nice kickback though, but still 2 kills already. The third gonna come through with the Ren. The chase is in. He's looking for number 4, Stixxay. Just like in the finals so long ago. Looking for the chase down, and the Phoenix flashes over the wall. Q's not gonna land. But here comes Darshan with the ulti into the wall. Huhi gets himself the 4th of the fight. As Stixxay, life stealing up. The Drowsy is in. The A's completely 5 for 0 to counter Logic Gaming.
And they're going straight to the top lane. They could actually knock down this bottom inhibitor, then go straight up to the top side where Darshan TP'd. They get the Elder. They get a 5 for 0 fight there. So well done by CLG. And this is probably just the game. We'll see if they want to go for the end.
It might just be 15 seconds to 25 on the shortest response, but 40 for the carries. The first turret is down. Next up is the inhibitor. And it's just that quick race, but it should be enough for CLG. The first turret under fire. Do you believe it? It's counter Logic Gaming when all hope was lost to give the first defeat of the season to Echo Fox. They improved the 2 and 3. The defense not going to be here in time. Counter Logic Gaming, true to the name.
And what a final team fight there for CLG. It seemed like they had been outsailed. It seemed like Echo Fox had held on long enough. Echo Fox gets the Baron. They actually push CLG out of the Elder Dragon area. But then CLG is able to find the perfect fight. They kill off Dardoch. They're able to get both the Elder Dragon and win the team fight with Darshan flying in. Stixxay so strong on that, on his Kalista. And honestly, very, very surprisingly ended. Like how quickly that game turned around, how quickly CLG is able to close it out. Very nicely done.
Really nicely done. Counter Logic Gaming did well for themselves. Huhi's poke ended up being most damage in the game, which is a surprise to almost no one. But yeah, Darshan had some good flanks. The overall team fight certainly solid from the CLG squad as well. And even though the gold was close, it felt like CLG for 90% of the time had the control of the map. They were the ones almost always able to dictate what was happening. They even got to TP Huhi away from the fight to clear a wave. Still showed up in time to contest the dragon. The timings, the rotations, everything. Honestly, reasonably good for CLG, and they were the better team today.
They certainly were. They played very, very well, I think, throughout the early stages. Mid lane was definitely going the way of Echo Fox, but there was a lot of good things working for Echo Fox. This did not feel like some complete collapse from Echo Fox, that CLG just got an easy win. I felt like, yes, CLG had map control, but that's because they had more early game pressure with their comp. They have the Nunu kind of controlling these objectives, and it felt like both teams were playing very well to their win conditions, and we were getting late enough in the game that it felt like Echo Fox, their comp is starting to eclipse that of CLG, but CLG able to find that one fight, and sometimes that's all it comes down to. But really impressive performance, because I actually think that Huni played very well. I think Phoenix played very well. Honestly, this was not like a bad game from Echo Fox. CLG were just straight up better, and this was an undefeated team, so some hope.
Is CLG back? Is CLG back?
They're back today.
All right, everyone, make sure you give credit to Jat for doubting Counter Logic Gaming. Do not give credit to the players.
Jat gets no credit.
Jat verbatim last week said, I'm going to keep voting CLG until at least week 4. We're day 1 of week 3, and he's like, I'm off the hype train. It's obviously Echo Fox. He was very wrong.
Abandoned them.
What an amazing analyst, Jat. Bring your dog out here. He knows it better than you do, honestly, though. But all you can say is props to Counter Logic Gaming. And yeah, maybe they are back, right? I mean, Stixxay had a good game all the way through. Big team fights out there. And again, I want to stress it, like, the macro victory, though, because this was a game where it's like, okay, you're up to 4-item Gangplank, 4-item Tristana, the gold's within 1,000, and CLG is still the one holding map control, despite the fact that you should probably, or it's around the time where you should start being afraid of Trist and Gangplank, but they never had to be, and they kept getting more macro wins. They're trading turrets 2 for 1, and it was a well-played game.
And I think that Nunu just seemed to fit how ReignOver was playing so incredibly well. I do think that there was a lot to be desired, even with some of the Nunu mechanics as far as, you know, you see a lot of the absolute zeros kind of whiffing in the early games and things like this, but he controlled the dragons very well. He managed vision incredibly well. He, I think, played just a very intelligent game, and I think Nunu fits his playstyle incredibly well, and people are going to have to be kind of worried about this guy on the champion.
Maybe so, so we'll see what happens. But now let's send it down to Avali May, who's standing by for an interview with the Echofox top laner and the CLG jungler.
Thanks, guys. I am here with ReignOver and Huhi. Huni, excuse me. Letters are difficult. ReignOver, congratulations on your win. Going into this game, you guys had a slow start and you were coming against the undefeated Echofox. How confident were you guys coming into this game?
We're pretty confident, and we get even more confident after the draft because we have been practicing like similar comp few times, and it was pretty successful. So we thought the game was going to be really going really well after the draft. So everyone felt really good. But I think Echofox played really well on like early game that like pressure us to like mid jungle. So it was pretty hard because like champion like Nunu needs a lot of like mid prio to like do something. But then they did really good on the mid gank, so it was pretty hard early game. But I think our team comp like works really well in like mid and late game too. So we didn't really feel like desperate of getting outscaled. And Jay's Zoe is insane, so he would land a lot of pokes. So yeah, I think it was a really good game.
Now, you guys both have a special relationship. You guys played together on Fnatic and then Immortals. And this is the first time that you guys have been on the stage, but playing on opposite sides. What was it like to play against each other? ReignOver, you first.
Is it my first time playing with Huni? Yeah, actually, it's my first game playing against Huni. And I mean, there have been a lot of like, I have been playing against a lot of like my old teammates past times, but I think playing against Huni like is pretty different feeling. And Huni is like my like most special teammate I've ever been. So yeah, it feels good that I won, but I also don't want like Huni to be like feel sad about it. So
same.
Any other emotions you were feeling while playing him?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I mean, I've been playing against Fabibin. I've tried it and playing against ReignOver, which is like, yeah, definitely. Like I have been playing with him like 2 years straight, and it feels pretty good. But it would have been better if I won that. Yeah, but still, it's really good to see that he's doing well. That's even as I said, like there was no like kind of competition. I just wanted to him like doing well also, and I just want to do well too. So it's kind of hard to say, but still, it's like both way. I think it's pretty happy to see anything.
Now, last split we saw, you went to Korea to play for SKT, and you stayed here with Team Liquid. What was it like to watch each other grow from so far away? ReignOver, you first.
I was really happy Huni playing in SKT. Huni could have played in NA, but he had a really good chance to go to LCK and then play in the like best team. So I was really happy that Huni made that decision, and it was really satisfying to watch like his performance. I think he was like one of the best top in the world during the SKT time. So I was cheering for him, but I was also in the other hand, I was like really sad because I wasn't performing well last year. So I think just overall watching Huni, I was always cheering for him, and I usually like watch every game that Huni played in LCK, and we like try to like message each other if there's like good things or bad things happening. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't watch all the game of he playing, so it's kind of sorry, but I was just quite busy to practice. But still, like I knew that he was like not doing well as a performance at the stage because I can always see like how it's going on about Team Liquid, and then of course he's my like special teammate too. So I was looking up, and it was kind of sad, but there's not much I can do. And I was trying to do like, that's why we were trying to do maybe like trying to be like reunited like for this year, or maybe later too if you get the chance. But
Now, is there any type of advice that you would offer to ReignOver?
Sorry.
Any advice that you would offer to ReignOver on his play?
I mean, he won, so I can't give him advice. He should give me advice.
What about you? Any advice for him?
Oh, I wouldn't say it's advice. I would just say Huni's doing super well. I think he's trying really hard. Like Huni's like a super tryhard player, and I think it always pays back. So I think he's doing really well. And I'm really happy that Huni is back in NA so we can see each other. And I really hope a good luck to Huni.
ReignOver, Huni, thank you so much. And now let's go back to the State Farm analyst desk.
Thank you, Avli. Always a joy to see those two players interacting. Had very different stories in terms of last year's seasons for both of these players, but here they are up against each other day 1, week 3, and ReignOver is actually the one who gets the victory here. So no more undefeated teams in the league. That's one important thing to recognize. The other important thing to recognize is that CLG is the team that did it. And neither of you predicted that they would.
Well, I was very conscious about what I was doing, though, Dash.
Okay,
I said I was helping CLG by predicting against them. This is the only way they would win. I told you they were going to win.
I might give a little bit more credit to the draft than that.
Right.
I really like what CLG put together here. They have a really strong early game. We said we didn't want to. It's hard to criticize a GP pick for one of your best players.
Right.
And so I understand why Echo Fox likes this pick, but against a team that primarily plays with a top laner who's going to carry them, you know, it is a little difficult to see that. And then we talk about ReignOver being a great PvE player. Hey, give him Nunu, one of the best PvE junglers in the game.
All right, so there you go. Because you did have some criticism to throw at ReignOver at the top of the day, but you're saying that in large part they covered for as many of his weaknesses as they could from the draft specifically.
Right. There was a play where Dardoch's diving mid and killing his mid laner, and he's like, I'm going to get an Infernal. PvE, perfect for what he does.
And also, I liked what ReignOver said early on in the interview about them not having a sense of desperation because they thought they scaled pretty well with the Nunu pick and the rest of their team composition with Zoe. And that was our win condition, is to play with restraint on top of Darshan getting hyped for this game.
Yeah, showing plenty of restraint from the team in terms of once they had that lead, playing it smartly from that point onward. Let's isolate rather that top lane matchup. Darshan versus Huni. Darshan had some strong words last week in post-game interview when looking forward to this matchup, saying that he thinks Huni is one of the weaker players on the team for Echo Fox. That's pretty crazy to think of to begin with, but he came in and he played with that kind of a mindset.
But I think their actual biggest weakness is Huni. I think Hanser was able to abuse him with the help of his jungler, and I feel like that's the biggest advantage we'll also have, is that if I can get an advantage on Huni, I think it'll be a pretty winnable matchup.
Yeah, and that takes a lot of guts to say. That was a 4-0 Echo Fox after CLG had just picked up their first victory after losing 3 games in a row and being 5,000 gold down to Golden Guardians. And then he kills them.
Right? Then he lives up to it.
He steps up.
I mean, he's got the Gnar pick into the GP, but here we have it, the solo kill in lane.
And it wasn't all easy. There was times where Huni got the help of Dardoch to cover some of their lanes, but Darshan still was generating a ton of pressure in the top side.
Whoa. Damn.
Strong words from
Darshan. Yeah,
you can see
not messing around.
He was also super hyped for it, and that did bite him a little bit at the end of this. Darshan, a little over-aggressive here. Dardoch and Huni fighting back. I know the casters were talking a lot about how they were going back and forth so much in this, but overall, with the map pressure, I do think Darshan had a larger impact in the game.
Now, this doesn't mean that CLG played without faults, right? We did see Echo Fox picking up a Baron, and we were getting to that point in the game where we're on a precipice, and perhaps Echo Fox, with that Baron, does outscale, can take it late. CLG able to put together the final team fight for the victory, but just because they got the victory doesn't mean we're free and clear all of a sudden when it comes to CLG's camp.
That was one Echo Fox force away from being an Echo Fox victory. I don't know why with Baron buff and now an advantage you try and force a neutral objective versus a Nunu with 1 Dragon versus 3. Doesn't seem like a great call, and I think that's where they fell apart. But you could see both teams playing pretty well this game, like the casters were saying. A good victory for CLG here.
Game 1 in the books. Up next, we got Cloud9 versus Optic Gaming. Before that, we're handing it off to the creative development team with their latest piece, which tells the origin story of Annie, the Dark Child.